is what India lead by. They have lost a couple of wickets, one of KL Rahul, the other of Karun Nair. Before we get to the wickets, the most exciting bit was, of course, there's Rishabh Pant on the crease, and he's doing Rishabh Pant things. Already has raced on to become the second highest run scorer for India in a matter of 35 deliveries. I think another 5-7 deliveries and he'll be the highest run scorer in the second innings for India. But what it has also done is set up the test match very nicely for India, because it's not just about their batting, but it'll be a big decision that they have to come to as to what would be the total that they declare on, because it does seem like a situation where they can declare on first test. There was no situation like that. I mean, they were dismissed. So now they realistically can think of a declaration. If they do, what is the right total? How much should they leave themselves to get England out? How much should they be wary of England chasing down? So plenty of questions for the Indian team to answer, Shubman Gill to answer, and Shubman Gill has to do the dual task of being a batter as well as a captain at this point. Let's start with where the match is. What is India thinking at the moment? One more session, two more sessions?
One more session of batting, get about 130 additional runs.
In one session, 130. You 130. Can if there is Rishabh Pant. Yes. Otherwise, it's very tough.
Yes, if Rishabh Pant falls early, then they'll have to go back on a plan B. But if Rishabh Pant is there, get 130 in this session, declare, and then give England 4 sessions of hell.
So you're saying 480, 490. That's the sort of a total. 480, 490 is enough.
Even with your alpha male baseball, it is not possible. 490, because you are going to get some kind of cloud cover in the days coming, which is today and tomorrow. You will get some cloud cover. It's already not easy. Even if you've got alpha male baseballers, it's impossible to chase down 490 or even 450 plus. Already you're 357. If you're brave enough, an additional 90 or 100 runs, because 457 then, get them in, just give them hell for 4 sessions.
+1 to, I think, what Siddharth has said.
Exactly the same.
Pretty much the same as far as the lead is concerned. 480, 490, around 500, that should be fine. The only thing is that I think in this session, India have scored about 110 odd runs. So scoring about 120, 130 in the next session would not really be that tough of a job. Even if Rishabh Pant falls early, you still have Nitish Reddy, Ravindra Jadeja, Washington Sundar can come up the order. So
but I don't think
that will be a problem.
To get over 100 in this session, no, you really have to bat because final session, I think 100 plus is needed, because you get those extra half hour, you get those many overs. In this session, typically you get 70, 80 in a session, 80 odd runs in a session. If you bat really well, 100, 110. If Rishabh Pant falls, for you to get 120, 130, no. But why I'm asking you is that, because let's say, what is your number one target? To allow England to bat as soon as after tea, or 120, 130? Because assuming if it is 120, 130, then there is a good chance that you will have to come out after tea to bat. That's why my question is, what is your priority?
I think the point is, first of all, what we discussed in the Leeds test also, that what India should look to do is that get to a total that should be difficult for England to, overcome. And if you get to about 480 or 490, that should be fine. In this session, even if you say, score about 100 odd runs, which will take your lead to 460, then you can come out in the T session, bat for about maybe 6 to 7 odd overs, and then put England in. So that would still be fine.
So the total is first in your mind. It's not so much the session. So you wouldn't want India to declare anywhere below 480. Is that your?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think 480. What is your?
Like what I feel is that around 480, anywhere between 480 to 500 should be fine.
Yeah. So what is your cutoff? 480.
490, I would say 480 to 500. 490. Yeah.
490. No. What is your minimum bare cutoff?
480. Minimum 480.
480.
Same for me. 500 is a minimum cutoff. 500.
Not 480.
Not 480. 500.
So for you to get 500, then you are definitely batting after tea. There's no chance India is getting off.
Yeah, if Rishabh Pant
But that doesn't bother you.
It doesn't bother me. No, you have time.
The goal is to give England about 100 odd overs. Like there is some weather around, as Siddharth also said.
100 though you'll get. For 100 you can easily.
The weather is not that promising for tomorrow. Also there is.
See, but at this stage of the game, I don't think you have to think of the weather first. First, you want to be in a secured position. No. So let's put the weather aside. You will have to think, or the team will have to think as to what is the firstly right total and how much time do we need to dismiss them. So on that basis, I want to know 480 for
480
you.
for me, yeah.
500.
500, which means for you that's definitely not happening by tea. So you're happy having India bat after tea. It could be a half hour, it could be 1 hour after tea, but 500 is the total. That's
Because why I'm not just looking at this test match. 4 days time, there is Lords. The England bowlers are already done. And I've got a double collateral damage in that sense. And I've weakened the England bowling. They're low on confidence. They may not be able to chase down 500. We head into Lords. They don't have any cards up their sleeve to trouble us.
I think as far as the cutoff total that we are talking about, I think first up, for me it's going to be 520. A bare minimum is what I'd want to give the England team to chase down it last day or 1 hour of today's last session as well. But I think the intent of the Indian team is very, very clear. I know Rishabh Pant is known to play that flamboyant brand of cricket, but today he's really come out all guns blazing. And when you're batting till Washington Sundar, there's still Nitish Kumar Reddy, Jadeja and Sundar to come. So your only goal in this test match heading was to score as many runs as possible, and now you'd want to do that at a quicker pace, because you have to remember it's not just about giving them 100 overs. It's maybe you would want to give them as many overs as possible, because your bowling we've seen in the first innings, it's just the two fast bowlers who managed to get those many wickets. Nobody else has really looked like picking up wickets. So I think, and yesterday, if I'm not wrong, it was the first session or the second session when England, Jamie Smith and Harry Brook got 170 in
Second
that session. It was the second session itself. So I would expect the Indian batters to at least do that, because now that your intention was to pack your batting so deep, so now that you're batting till 8-9, it's better that you go there and score as many runs as possible in this session. Give them a target of about 500, 510, and then let them play the last session, today's last session, and tomorrow whole day, assuming if the weather is also a little bit of a problem tomorrow. I'm assuming they will get about 110, 120 overs, and then you try to get rid of the England batters. So in that sense, this session I'm looking at least 150 runs more to be scored by these two batters.
See, I mean, I thought, by the way, India could have really faltered big time in this test match, starting with what Rishabh Pant did. And I've actually found that baffling. I'm just taking you back to that test match. If, let's say, Rishabh Pant was dismissed and, he comes in after the fall of KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant probably goes for 5 or 6 when he was dropped, and he's been dropped multiple
10,
times, whatever. So you're sitting at a lead of, it was close to 280 or somewhere around there. You were 280 and you would have been 4 down. With Rishabh Pant gone, 280. I'm not 100% again confident of a Nitish Kumar Reddy, Jadeja and Sundar chipping in with runs again. I mean, if they do, then great, it's a bonus. But there is a chance that, you could have had a collapse as we've had. There could have been a chance, and I'm just saying that if you were at 280 at that time, at best you could have gotten 100 runs.
Yeah.
So there was a real chance at that time that it would have been a 380 sort of a total that India would have set England. 380 sort. You could have been dismissed in that much. So I found that very baffling and very disturbing, because you're so far ahead in this test match. Your first aim has to be to bat the opposition out. There was no need even for a Rishabh Pant to hurry, because fine, you need more time. There is a test match that has happened where England chased in down those many sessions. But in an effort to bat quicker and faster, you were actually allowing England to get back into a match where they were far away from this test match. This entire test match you have dominated. I'm telling you, just imagine Rishabh Pant had gotten out at that time. I think what score was it, please, when KL Rahul had fallen at 126. He was a 126. So I think
300 you had crossed already.
Lead of
300
something,
yeah.
180 plus 126.
You were leading by at the start.
That's what I'm saying. So there's you're 4 down at that time. Then your entire batting would have been on Shubman Gill. How long does he bat? Because I'm not 100% sure. If you got 100, maybe then you were giving them a target of 400. After what England did in the Leeds test match, I would have been very nervous. I would have been very nervous now, because now when I'm sitting with you, you guys are all saying he's saying 520, you're saying 480, you're saying 500, whatever. Those are the figures that you have in mind. But you would have been in a situation where India wouldn't have had to dictate that number. They would have given them a target of, let's say, between 380 to 400, which then again game would have been on. So I found that baffling. They wouldn't have made any difference of 7, 8, 10 overs here and there that Rishabh Pant had to bat that aggressively. I think the need of the hour there was to be careful. Okay, touch wood for India. It has worked out fine that he got those few drop catches here and there, a bat flying, a catch drop, 2 catches drop, whatever. It's worked out fine for India. So now we can sit together and possibly now with you can definitely get 100 run plus. So it's now a safe position, but I really was scared with Indian batting at that time. Now, as to what is a safe total, that's why I'm saying I'm in a catch-22 situation, because last match in Leeds, I had 3 sessions and I could not get them out. And the way they finished that test
with
match,
1 session remaining.
No. They
Last hour.
Last
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah,
India
so-
won, yeah.
So you had 3 sessions and you could not get them out. So that means, which is telling me that 3 sessions are not good enough to get them. And the way they batted with plenty left in the tank, that means probably 4 sessions also not enough to get them out. I'm just saying, if I want to push for a win, I may be looking at minimum of 4 sessions, which means I don't want to bat a moment after tea to allow myself to win a test match. That is something in my mind. So that should be your main approach, that as soon as tea happens, I need 2 hours, 2.5 hours today as well, and I need a full 3 days to get these guys out, because I failed in Leeds. That's one thought. But the second thought is also right. You got them to chase 350 plus and they chased it. Many said that even if it was 450 plus, they would have chased it. Now, how do I also give them a target which is anything below 450? So I am really in a catch-22 situation as a captain. But if I was really in the spot, if I was Shubman Gill, I would rather err on the side of a draw than risk a loss. Which would be, I'd rather, even if I have to bat, if 480 is my comfort target, and I'd also go with 480, I'd be fine. Then I'd rather be concentrating on 480, go past 480, even if time is consumed. I'll try to dismiss them in 3.5 sessions if I can, and more often than I should be able to, any team should be, then great, I go for a win. In case I can't, at least I put up a big enough total that I've not lost this test match. That has to be my approach. So for me, I won't care much about the time. I'm going to care about the runs, and if I am ahead, 480 would be my
See, we have to also ensure that, okay, our bowling, only 2 bowlers took 10
You said
wickets.
480.
Yeah. 2 bowlers took.
Because if I'm going to be nervous with 480 also, then I might as well not play a test match with bowlers. Then I just say that.
Enemies are doing that, to be
I
honest.
actually asked it again
Yeah.
because I was just confirming the numbers that we all had said.
No, but I'm just generally
450 is
saying.
basically the cutoff, 450 to 470.
But I'm saying, like, if 450 is also not, you're not confident with 480 also, then either you're spooked by baseball or then you just don't have any faith in your bowling.
That is the problem.
480 is like.
It's never been done in the history of the game.
Yesterday, I think India almost messed it up. Despite Siraj taking those 2 wickets early on, Ben Stokes and I think who was
Joe Root.
And Joe Root, they scored about 170 odd runs in that session. That's where I think India almost lost it in the 50 overs.
I mean the thing with that was, I think there was that Prasidh Krishna over also.
23 runs which went.
So the only thing is, I understood that approach. I understood that approach that they had at that moment for Prasidh Krishna, because if you remember now, it's very easy. Nothing succeeds like success. First test match, we criticize India for this, that at least try something new. You try an approach, go short pitch, put a field like that, you'll get. But I have to give credit to how Jamie Smith played those short pitch deliveries. I think he aced it. You've got that entire leg side field spread. You will make an error once or twice, or you will let the ball go. That guy took on that bowling and had every shot under control. That was just some incredible batting. I think they learned from it. That one over really shook India up, and then they realized that this is not working.
The field.
And you see the same Prasidh Krishna after tea time, when he came out to tea or lunch, when he came back to bowl, then he went to that outside the off stump line, which is the conventional line, and it was very tough to get runs off him. But I mean, that was an approach that India had, and I think it's more than the bowlers. I think it was the team's ploy. I'm sure it was the bowling coach's ploy. It was the captain's ploy. That's why they had the field. So it's very easy sometimes to just target the bowler that, listen, he went. But you have to follow. why not question the bowling coach and everyone else who probably told him that this is what you have to do? Again, plans can go bad, they can go wrong, and we were the ones, and that's why I'm saying it'll be quite a double standard from our side. We, in the previous test match, said that why was India not trying different things? It's a flat pitch, nothing is coming, try something. Go try a bouncer strategy, try a leg side strategy, try that. At least this time India tried it, backfired on that situation, they changed that plan. That's what you expect. And so, I mean, that moment also India tried different things. I don't think it'll be like that. If you really want to stem the flow of run, as Prasid showed, you go both Smith and Harry Brook was so uncomfortable outside the off-stump line. In fact, Harry Brook, I was so surprised, batting on 100, was not moving his feet. He was just standing and trying to hit the ball.
You don't need to move your feet on this wicket.
No, but then that's what he was allowing maidens.
Yeah. And we saw it at the beginning also. The first 2 wickets that Akashdeep got at the end of day 2, there also Ben Duckett or Oli Pope, nobody really moved their feet, because it's not that sort of wicket where you really need to.
No, but if it's a ball outside the off stump,
then you have to go to
Harry Brook looked very foolish. That's why I'm saying that's his weak area. That is something that people have discovered. So I'm saying if Harry Brook is batting and you want to stem the flow from that, can be an approach. Whether he bats really well, that's nothing, but at least you can go for that. A word on Karun Nair, because he's that one talking point in this session, and we'll of course have more chances to talk about the declaration. What do you think?
He looked like a walking wicket. That's the only thing I'll say.
He was finding more outside edges.
I think he was extremely uncomfortable against both Josh Tongue and specifically against Bryden Cars. Anything outside of slightly swinging away, he was extremely uncomfortable, and that's where I think I would want to come back to the point that what was the need to have him at number 3, and why did you actually drop Sai Sudarshan after first game? Karun Nair, I don't really think that he's pretty much he's acclimatized to these kind of conditions wherein he can bat comfortably at number 3. You had
he was got in specially played county cricket before this tour.
He's a proper middle order batter.
I'm just saying, I'm not debating your opinion. I'm saying that this is what we were told, that he's played county experience, so many years, Duncan Fernley, full kit.
These are not the
This is where he's supposed to be.
These are not the Asian conditions wherein you can bat him at number 3.
No, but he played county cricket, I'm saying.
To play in England.
A double century scored for Nottinghamshire at that time.
I get that, but
that was the build-up is what I'm saying. And now why I'm saying that is the whole build-up was that he's so suited to
English condition.
He's there, and now I'm getting to hear that how can you play him? These are very different.
I'm saying that I'm fine with playing him, but at number 3, I'm not really sure.
But he's not the number 6 batter. He plays at 3-4.
I think
he got that double 100 at 3.
No, that's fine. But I think he's a proper number 5 or number 6 batter. At least, as far as the English conditions are concerned. You talk about Sai Sudarshan.
But he got his double 100 at number 3 in the warm-up game.
Double.
That's fine. That was
at 3. Double 100 was at 3. Then he played at 4 when KL Rahul went.
I think this is something different. Both are... I think 2 ends of the pole. I am not really going to compare, what he did in that India A game and what he is basically done here. What he does here is something that's going to count.
No, but he's never played at 6.
I think whenever he played for India way back in 2016-17, his usual position was 5 or 6 if I'm not wrong.
No. Then also he was playing at 4.
No.
3, 4.
5,
3, mostly. 3, 4.
And
5, 6, where did he score a triple 100?
When did he play at number 3?
No. That 300 would have been 5 or 6.
5 would have been 5 because KL Rahul
it was fixed now. Murli Vijay, you had KL Rahul, Cheteshwar Pujara, Virat Kohli. Then
he would have been
around 5 or 6.
5.
He'd never
but that after that all his Ranji Trophy, now when he was got here, it was very clear, it was looking like he's going to play at number 3. But I think the only problem, just getting back to Karun Nair, I think it's just fear of failure. I cannot believe a Karun Nair just a couple of weeks back who got a double 100, then scored a 40 odd, and he was really, wherever he was going, he was scoring runs, suddenly looks like a walking wicket. That can only happen. I don't see any flaw in skill, or I don't see any lack in the game sense. I just see that it's just about that fear of failure. It's just about that sword on his neck. He's seen that a Sai Sudarshan was bought in, was dropped absolute one game after one failure, and the same thing can happen with the Karun Nair as well. And I think that is why.
But where you can see fear of failure?
No, I'm just.
There is no fear of failure.
Fear of failure is
saying that suddenly he knows. See, I see such a drastic change in a players batting within a week or two. That can only be because of not being in the right mental space because
But
batsmen.
fear of failure is when you are, what happens to KL Rahul on occasions. You know that he's tentative. In Karun Nair's case, I don't think there is fear of failure. It doesn't look like that. He's not being
But he's
tentative.
not being given that security,
In fact,
right?
He was found out in this innings. That's the
Shwat,
point.
what is happening to him behind the scene, you don't know. I don't know. I'm talking about what you're seeing, right? You're seeing him bat, no? You think it is fear of failure. How is it fear of failure when you see someone fear of failure is, he is tentative. He is, not playing the shot that he should have. He is what KL Rahul sometimes shouldering arms to the ball that he should have been playing at, things like that. Yeah. In Karun Nair's case, he has been overtly aggressive. That does not come with fear of
He's
failure. I think
tentative with his drives and all of
no,
all
not
this
at all.
also is
In
played
fact,
on the.
I thought that he has been trying extra hard to exert his authority, which has been his undoing. Had he not been, in this frame of mind that I want to show that I belong here and this is the rate that I play with, I think he has been overly bullish about how he used to go. It's exactly the opposite of fear of failure. At least that's how I can see from the batting that he's done. There could be technical deficiencies, as Siddharth points out. That's another thing that a lot of times he's looked uncomfortable. But fear of failure is someone who looks confused.
I personally, when I looked at the batting, it just.
That's the least of anything that Karun Nair.
I personally still felt that. I just felt that he was getting a little tentative, and I can see that. I sense that by looking the way he's batting, because see, he's the same batter who looked so assured a couple of weeks back in those warm-up games, and just cut to 1 week now. Suddenly he's looking out of sorts. It looked like he doesn't know if he belongs here or he does.
But that's not how he's looking
here.
like that.
But
he's not looking like he doesn't belong there. What happened in the first Test match?
He got out to a good catch, drove at a delivery. Okay,
that also he played for far away
Nobody
on the
who has fear of failure would have played that shot. Yeah. I mean, if you have seen him bat, then out of all the things, the one thing that he did not have is fear of failure. Then second inning again, from the first ball he is driving. First inning of this, at one stage he was batting at runner ball. The first 20 or
don't those drives look a little double-minded? Looks like that he's not
at all. Not at all. I think there is a technical deficiency for sure, which he is pointed out, and I think more than fear of failure, it's over eagerness. For example, today he got 2-4, still going for a drive, knows that, and the bowler knows fully well that I will get him, not this one. Got 2 fours, again is going for another drive to it. That is not fear of failure. The guy of fear of failure was what KL Rahul used to show us. That on the crease but just does not know what to do.
But I'm saying, sir,
but he knows exactly what he needs to do. He wants to tell everyone that I am the man in form, I've come with form, I've gotten runs. And I can understand where that comes from. He's been a guy who's been away from cricket for so long. So this time he's come that, listen, this time when I go back, this probably is going to be my last chance. I'll play with the freedom with which I have played my domestic cricket. This has been my mantra. This is what has made me successful in white ball, in red ball. And I'm going to continue that without thinking about the result. At least that's how I think he's playing, without really concentrating. And it's just so happened, one of that could turn out to be a beginning. But for him, it hasn't happened so far.
He's been unlucky. Let me just tell you one thing.
I don't think so. He has been unlucky. Just one point that Siddharth I want to make. What really baffled me about Karun Nair today was that he did not try something new against the likes of Bryden Cuss. When you know that you're consistently outside edging those good length deliveries or the back of a length deliveries that are just moving away, why don't you step out? Why don't you step out someone like a Shubman Gill did at the starting of the series, so as to negate the impact of the deliveries that Bryden Cuss was
different
bowling?
conditions.
I think that's where I feel what Nikhil said, that maybe he was over trying. According to me, he wasn't really trying anything else. Had he tried, I'm sure the score would have been completely different. It wouldn't have been 26. It could have been 46, 56 for that matter. He did not try something different.
But he was batting at 6 in the previous game. This time you pushed him at 3, and now suddenly if God forbid this game does not.
He's a top order batter. He should be used to.
No, he should be used to. But all I'm trying to say is that what I cannot believe this is there is no. I just hope that the talks have been. You need to give a player that assurance once he's in that 11, and if that is not given and a player is making a comeback after 7-8 years,
that's assumption. No, how do we know whether he's
no? I'm just seeing. I'm not saying that. I
can't put it down on he's been made insecure and that's why he's not getting.
I hope that assurance has been given to him. But the only problem is he's seen.
Whether we hope or not doesn't matter. He has a job to do. You have to go and get runs. How do we know? Sai Sudarshan, now everyone has to be made to sit and give assurance. Then Shardul Thakur should have also been given assurance. Nobody knows that.
But this has been pointed out by the captain on many occasions.
No, I agree. But right now he has to score runs. No, he can only be complained about in not getting assurances if he was dropped after the first test.
But do you drop him now?
I would not drop him.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Again, as I said, that if a person has waited 7 years to make a comeback, give him 7 innings. I mean, 7 is just a way of saying, but I would at least give him 3 test matches, because I'll tell you why also. Any call that you take on Karun Nair is going to be permanent. He's not a young guy that, okay, you can, like for example, Sai Sudarshan. I don't think it's anyway an indictment of his career that he was dropped. You know pretty much that, okay, combination he got dropped. He'll get plenty chances. He's a young guy, he'll come back. Karun Nair, that will not happen, no? If you drop him the next test match, he probably does not play for India ever again. So I'm actually, I have to see my mindset. Am I here as a selector, as a coach, as a captain, just to reject people? Acha, isko bhi hatao, let me clear my confusion, isko bhi hatao, let me. Or am I like, nee, everyone is there, let me see how I can utilize everyone. So if that is your mentality, and that is how your mentality should be, then you have to see how you can get the best out of him. He's had 4 innings, he's not done well, absolutely fine. But then, if you don't play him from now, that's the end of his career. Would I be willing to take such a big call basis on 4 innings? I would not. And if your team does well now, as it does seem like it, at least you can reach a situation where you're not losing, even if it's a draw, then I wouldn't look at changing many things. Give him another test match. If it doesn't work out,
that's what Lords is his last chance saloon. I would say for Karun Nair, Lords the last chance, but he will be cursing his luck for the fact that I have been presented with the flattest of England conditions on tour. Yeah. He's not capitalized on it. Fair point. He went for a drive when India were dominating, but then he fell, and that ushered in a collapse in Leeds. Here also, he looked assured 31, but he not a very good ball in the first innings. That's make no mistake about it. It was one of those rare good balls in that test match which got rid of him. Okay, he had to fend at it, got the edge. Here, he was trying something aggressive, but we saw only outside edges go for a boundary. And he was caught. So, he'll be like cursing his luck as to why on earth can't I capitalize on these flat decks which is there. But I think if he doesn't do well in Lords, it's game over for him.
Why should he should consider himself lucky he's got flat decks. Curse himself for not utilizing.
But he was prepared for fully swinging.
That is it. That's the problem. He prepared for tough IAS exam. You give him simple.
But when you prepare for the toughest of the conditions, it's easy to counter the easiest of the
conditions. Just a joke.
Yeah.
See, the toughest conditions.
No, but I truly feel bad because for KL Rahul, we keep on saying that you keep changing his position.
I don't feel bad about him at all.
That.
I think he
has got
himself to blame. It's
I
still feel.
But you can still feel bad for someone who's not doing well. Nah? I'm not saying that it is not his fault. Of course, it is his fault. But you can still feel bad for someone who worked so hard to come into cricket and has not gotten runs.
It just seems very odd.
You can obviously empathize with the person.
See, he realized it. He realized that his best chance was gone. Looking at the way after he got dismissed, he was fuming.
He seems
Karun
to be
was fuming
off
after
balance because it was a stupid shot.
No, but doesn't he seem off balance when he's playing those drives, and that is why I sort of feel that it's not.
So that I agree with him that certain times there's look like a technical deficiency with him. But no. Fear of failure is something else. That you are like, your hands freeze. That's not what is happening to him. He's not freezing.
Maybe tentativeness.
Yeah, but there's no tentativeness.
Too many thoughts.
No, but there's no tentativeness in him. He's just unable to, play to the conditions where he should have been. There is, nothing to suggest that he is absolutely fine, but it was just tentative and that's how he got out. No, none of that.
Okay, Dhanush is wondering, who is one game wonder? Carlos Brathwaite or Karun Nair? Yeah, different formats here. I would say Carlos Brathwaite, one game wonder. At least Karun's got a triple in a test format, which
also
is the purest.
One game.
Yeah, but still, test is bigger than a T20.
But both one game wonders. Yeah. The thing is that Brathwaite's career is done. Yeah. Karun, we don't know. It's on the verge of, or may not, who knows?
Yeah. Jassi Singh is like saying, best thing about baseball, even Sports Today group is scared and talking about 500 or more. Good or bad, that's what baseball has achieved.
True.
I am not a big fan. Okay.
Why did you choose 500 then?
So that you ground the England bowlers for Lords also. They are absolutely done and dusted. That is why 500. Bat them out and give them 4 sessions of hell. That's the way.
You need bowlers to give them hell. Nah. Only 2 bowlers you've gone with.
Mia. I believe only in Mia bhai now. That's it. And Akashdeep, the skiddier version of Shami. Skiddy Shami.
No, same yes. TikTok, copy.
He's front on. Shami
Oh,
side.
he's more side on.
Are same they are. Hair also, bowling also.
Yeah,
enough also,
absolutely.
everything, yeah, same.
Yes. Jassi Singh, Nikhil bhai, you also say okay with draw, not loss, then why blame Shubman? That same Indian defensive mindset. Only Kohli changed it. आपका खुद का thinking भी defensive है.
No. Every team will have to think like that. Why would I want to leave a foot in the door open for the opposition to win it? I don't want to be 2-0 down in the series. And do you know, it's very easy to say when you are not the decision maker. Imagine you're the captain, you take that decision of leaving the door open and they chase it down. You will, and let's say, I'm just giving an example, India have 5 wickets in hand. You are 450 ahead, hypothetically. You should win more often than not with 450, but 5 wickets ahead and you give it. And assuming they chase it down. So your 5 wickets there have gone for waste, no? You could have had a chance of just shutting the game and making it 1-0. You always play, it's a test matches and test series, like 5-match test series are marathons. Nothing is decided in one test match. You have to build it. My one mistake of bravado, which you think becomes aggressive, can take, you lose the test match, you go 2-0 down, it finishes the series in one go. And if I had the opportunity of ensuring I don't do that, why wouldn't I do it? When I can reach a situation where only 2 results are possible, either my team wins or a draw, why will I not do that? Why do I want to allow an opposition any sort of leeway? And that's part of each sport, by the way. I mean, if you play... this is one thing that I learned more from snooker. I don't know, I spent all my college years playing snooker. You know, we used to think the guy who pots the best is the best player. But when I played, I learned the guy who can position his white ball best is the best player and not the one who pots, because that tells you how not to give a chance to your opponent. Because if chance I get, I will also pot. If he gets, he'll also pot. I don't have to give him a chance to do it first. That's my first chance. Then when I get, then I'll finish off the game.
Slightly off topic, who's your favorite snooker player?
Without doubt, hands down, no one ever comes close to him. He is the greatest sports person of all time.
Rocket.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. Genius.
I thought Stephen Hendry.
No, Stephen Hendry was nice. Safe, good.
But clinical.
He
but
was,
Rocket, yes.
He was, I can't give you, there's no parallel in any sport to what Ronnie O'Sullivan could do.
Yeah.
It's like saying Sachin Tendulkar and you tell Sachin now bat lefty also and be as good. Can he do that?
No.
But Ronnie O'Sullivan could do it.
Yes. Rocket. What a legend.
He was just something else.
Yeah.
And at the pace that he would do, it's faster than what Rishabh Pant bats in
exactly. Most 147 breaks in the history of the game.
And at the fastest pace, like the speed.
Completed a grand slam in snooker also. So
he's the greatest of all time.
Deepthi is like saying, per test cricketer on this panel, this bowling attack can't pick 10 wickets in 5 days. Glad actual Indian test cricketer humbled him in the next session.
It took them 150 overs and effort of 2 fast bowlers that nobody else really could contribute, and I meant 20 wickets though, but yeah.
Chalo, okay. Match has started. 2 comments quickly.
Ashish Chandile, due to imagination, like what if Rishabh Pant gets out at 10, what would happen? Players like Rishabh are not accepted easily. But if another player like head counterattacks, we can't stop praising.
No, Ashish, again, you're not getting it. You have to see where your team is. I think we are the biggest backers that there are of Rishabh Pant. When people were asking him to be dropped before the test series, I think we were pitching for him to be captain of this team. I don't think any of a million of you now who also joined the bandwagon wanted him dropped from the test team also. If I go back into the thing, that's not how it is. The thing is, you cannot leave your team in a precarious position. There was no need, is my point, at that particular moment to be batting against this. Why would, again, I just gave an explanation. Why will I want to leave a door open for my opposition at all? Never. If you've got the foot on the opposition's neck, if you got him there, you got to keep him there. By, jumping extra, take that foot off. Why? Why will I want to allow that? You didn't need to. You're going fine, 4-5 runs and over, no problem. If you got dismissed and you left them a total of 400 to chase and they chased it down. Who's going to look back at it that time? Yes, this approach is needed when time is of the essence. There's a shortage of time, or you are down like England were down. Now nothing to lose, go counter-attacking. That's when it's amusing. And it's not that Rishabh cannot play the other game. He himself has shown that he has all possible gears. Yeah. That is the beauty about his batting. It can't be one size fit all approach all the time. There is a need that, human brains and players that we appreciate have that brain to adjust. And Rishabh, by the way, can do it. That's what you love about him. He's not a one-dimensional player. With your suggestion, you make him a one-dimensional player. He's not.
Jassi Singh, Nikhil bhai, Australia, England, bar they give a winnable target. India cannot become like that, because when we have a defensive mentality, we only think about a safe draw. But yeah, Jassi, what if, we give 500, it is not spooking. 500, your England bowlers have toiled. I've got 4 sessions. I'll give them hell. And I also cook them for Lords. What is the defensive mentality?
I know that even if India get out now, what is the lead? 360 or?
360,
yeah. Okay. Even now, if India get all out, you ask me which team is winning, I will still pick India, because I don't think, I've said it before in the previous test matches, England chased it down. It is not easy to chase 360 down. It does not happen. I will give India the edge, 55-45 or 60-40, India the edge to do it. But my point is, why do I want to leave that 45% for England at all by leaving 360 or whatever else? I don't want to leave that. If I have a chance and if I can take it to 450 and make it 80-20, 80% India is winning, 10% draw and 10% whatever, then I want to do that. Why will I not do it when it's my chance? I don't get a third innings, na? I don't want to regret at the end of the 5th day that, I should have done this. No, I want to finish with everything I have. Why will I not take that chance? That's how test matches are played.
So yes, India are off to a very fast
England
start.
sometime did that thing in Ashes only, that declaration.
Which was absolutely foolish. And yeah, India has started very aggressively, Gill making room, and I think it's on. They are going to declare in this session.
Correct.
Give them 4 sessions then.
Then it's fair. That's what I'm saying. Because back of your mind, you also know we had 3 sessions. We could not dismiss them. Maybe we need 4.
Yeah.
And for us to get them in 4 sessions, let's bat out aggressively, which they are doing. Well done. And I think, see, again, any team with 370 now should be comfortable. You have 370. For any team to chase even 370 is tough. But if you can take it to 470, which is almost shutting the door on them, making it almost impossible, why not do it?
Yeah.
Eliminate that one result. England, you cannot win no matter what you do. Even if they're, in that situation, even if they had that Smith and that partnership where they're going for a lot of runs, you don't panic. We have enough on the board. So I would do that still.
Yep, exactly. So yes, England are crumbling and India's lead is now racing towards 400. Let's see. I would say a declaration's coming in this session.
In this session?
Yeah. Looking at the way how they have started, they would want 450 plus within 1 hour.
In 1 hour?
They're the way how they're going. So
no, but then they may go to your 500.
So yes, you will see a declaration.
Anyway, if this approach continues, they're not batting after tea. That's for sure. So whether they declare in this session or at tea time, we'll find out. Whenever it is, we're going to be live.
Yep. Indeed.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.